Hey guys, Dilby here. Welcome back to the channel. So you've sent out some demos and bam, a label's got back saying that they want to release your track. And even better, they're going to get a big name remixer on board. But in order to remix your track, they're going to need remix parts. And how the hell do you do that? Well, today we're going to find out. In my opinion, there's a right way and a wrong way to go about doing this. And today I'm going to explain both and show you why doing it the right way can leave a good impression and make you come across professional. Just quickly, the track that you can hear playing and the one that we're going to look at in Ableton is my new track Sensei. It comes out next week on Unveiling and the Beatport pre-order is up now. There's a link in the description if you want to go and grab a copy. I know you want to. Yo, guys, it's Dilby here from the future and I'm editing this video and I realized I forgot to plug my Patreon. What? Well, there's a link in the description if you want to go and check it out. For all of the production tutorials that I do, you can download the project files, all of the MIDI, all of the sounds. You can get in there and see how I made it. It's really cool. Anyway, do that. It's the best way that you can support the channel, support me. Now, let's get in there and make some remix parts, yeah? Alright guys, so here we are inside Ableton, and this is the project for my new track Sensei, which is coming out on Unveiling. So what I'm going to do is show you here how I would go about making a remix pack for this track. Now a lazy way of doing this would just be go File, Export and export all the stems. But there's a number of reasons why this is not an ideal solution. So first of all, it takes up masses of space to export all of those tracks. I know for myself, hard drive space is a premium asset and I don't want to waste it with like hundreds of gigabytes of exported stems that don't need to be done. So I'm going to show you how I go about it. It's a little bit more time consuming, but much more tidy, and the person who's going to remix your track gets a much more usable functional package. Let's say the label you're releasing with has decided to commission a remix and it's your dream remixer, right? If you send them all the stems, I can tell you this from personal experience, it's annoying. You just want the parts, you want them selected, you want them easy, manageable. So in the scenario where you're sending all the stems, you're making a bad impression on this person that you want to kind of impress. So I'm going to show you a way to make a really professional, clean remix package. Let's just take a little listen to the track to familiarize ourselves with it. Hope you like that. It's coming out next week. So the first thing I'm going to do is identify the parts that I actually need to send. Generally, I won't send many of the drums at all, and I'll start with the melodic elements and do the bass and the vocal and any kind of unique effect sounds, things that are really characteristic to the track. So we're going to send all of these. So what I have here is this resample track. If I click input output, I can see that's set to resampling. What resampling means is it's going to record the output of the master. So what I'll do here is I will hit record arm on the resample track. I'll hit solo on this first acid track. It's really important to have a look at if anything is being automated. So nothing's being automated there. I've recorded this from my Teddy 3 and I can see that I did the automation by hand. There's a little bit of LFO automation which is happening on the auto filter. So what I would do with this is skip through. So it's not vastly different, it's just kind of adding some movement. So what I'll do is record this section here. So I just hit record. For the sake of keeping this video brief, I'm not going to record the whole thing. But I recommend that you record in any significant amounts of automation. So I'll just press Ctrl R and rename this track. I'll call it Sense and Acid 1. Okay, I'm going to move that over here. Now let's have a look at this other acid line. We've got some filter automation. All right. So I would record this whole piece. But again, for the sake of keeping it brief, let's just do the end. So what I'm going to do is chop the end here. I'll rename that. So basically what I would do is repeat this process for all of these parts that have some kind of meaning or add some kind of value to the track. So we would possibly do the high string. Yeah, it's a little bit more unique. I think I've recorded it from my JP1010 hardware. Dub stab, I would do that. High plucks. Space pad. Now in the vocal group, I can see here, these are being repeated. And if I just record this part here, I would capture all of the individual hits. Because the vocal's not following a verse-chorus structure, it's just more like sample hits. So all I need to do is include each one of those, and then the remixer can use them in their own interpretation. Same with the second vocal, I can just record
the groove. Really about getting back to the music.
It looks like I could just record this section, but I would go through and check and make sure that I included all of the vocal parts. This Vox Atmos. So obviously include that and record in the automation. I'm just increasing the volume so it's being used as like a riser. And then I'm opening the high cut on this EQ. Now in the effects, there's plenty of stuff in here that's pretty bland stock. Crashes and fills I'm not really going to add. But what's this? Hive. So that I would definitely include. So that one's a bit more unique, so I would include that. Carry on for all of those. Now when it comes to drums, people are generally going to do the drums from scratch themselves. All I want to do is include anything that's really got a unique characteristic to it. So I'm not going to include my kick. Let's have a look at the claps. So there's just a few layers there, nothing crazy. I'm not going to include that. Hats. Pretty standard stuff, not going to include any of that. Really nice loop, but it's quite dense, and I feel like if the remixer uses that, then it's going to be too similar to the original, so I won't include it. So this one I will record and use. So we just come in here, chop off the end, rename it. So now that I've got these parts, what I will do is make sure again that they're all chopped off. When I'm doing this, I like to kind of store the parts that I've made in the session view. So I will grab those, press tab, drop them there. And it makes a nice kind of tidy group of samples. Then all I do when I want to collate them into the remix pack is select all the samples, right click, crop clips. So that's going to chop off any unneeded bits, making them like a nice tidy looped section. From there I can go right click, show in Explorer or Finder if you're using a Mac. That brings up my Explorer window. Now what I will do is delete these so that Ableton doesn't think they're still in use. Go back to my crop folder, select the ones I want, Command X, go to my main folder, new folder. I always like to include the BPM and the key on the name of the remix folder, just so that it's as easy as possible for the remixer. Paste them in. Now it's just my OCD, but I like to tidy up these file names and just there we go, all neat and tidy. So now I've got our remix parts in there. One last thing I will do is go back to the project. Say for the bass line, I can go right click, export MIDI clip, and drop that into our folder. So now if they want to recreate the bass line using a different sound, it's super easy for them. And any other melodic parts, like piano chords or anything like that, I would definitely do that. These acid lines I programmed on the device, so I don't actually have the MIDI for it. Now I will just zip that. I use WinRAR, but you can use whatever software you want to compress your files. There we go. We've got a nice, easy, tidy package to send to someone. And like I said, I think it's really important to do this the right way, to appear professional and save the people on the other end some time and effort. I always think about trying to make it as easy as possible for them so that they can just get on and make the best remix they can for me. There you go, guys. Simple, huh? But if you don't know, you don't know. So now you know. You can probably see why I recommend just putting in that little bit of extra time and effort to appear professional and make a good impression on the label and the remixer that you're working with. It's about presenting yourself in the right way to create long-standing, productive relationships in the industry. If you like this video and you're looking to take your production knowledge to the next level, then check out this playlist with all of my production tutorials. All right, guys, that's it from me today. We'll catch you next time. Peace.